You couldn't have scripted this any better. So you have Bitcoin at almost an all-time high. In fact, you can say at an all-time high on the inauguration day, which probably couldn't have been scripted a little bit better. But let me tell you, the day didn't start off like this. In fact, this has been the craziest weekend we've ever seen in crypto. The day started off with MELANIA launching her token after the Trump token launched. And that sucked out all the liquidity from crypto. And then at this point over here, we got a leak that the Bitcoin, that Trump may give an executive order on his first day, which would create the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And then that drove the market back up. And we're not even halfway through the trading day. In fact, the inauguration hasn't even started. Today is going to be one of the craziest days in crypto. And you really, really need to know all the risks and all the upsides before trading it. You need to make sure that you don't get wiped, because both longs and shorts are going to get destroyed today. You need to watch today's show, because I'm going to take you through all the positives, all the negatives, and we're going to decide whether we should be buying or shouldn't be buying, and we're going to keep each other safe, and we're going to make maximum profits. This is probably the most important show you're ever going to watch. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Okay, if you're absolutely, I don't know, what's the right word for the events of the last 24 to 48 hours? If you're absolutely shocked by the events of the last 72 hours in crypto, do me a favor and just destroy the like button, just so that I can make sure that we're all on the same page here, because I can tell you, I've been in crypto since 2015, call it 2014, 2015, and I can tell you in the last 9 or 10 years, I've never seen anything like what we experienced in the last 72 hours. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely mind-boggling what we actually saw. I agree with Joe McCann, who said, by far the craziest weekend in crypto history. By all accounts, the craziest weekend in crypto history. Here's how it started. So first we had Trump launch his own token, which sucked out about $70 billion or $80 billion of liquidity out of the market, or a little bit less, but we'll discuss that. Then, a couple of hours or a couple of days later, MELANIA, I got news that MELANIA was launching her own token. Now, the truth is, that news sounded so absurd to me that I was actually scared to put it into any groups. I didn't even put it into Frontrunner, but I tweeted about it because I just thought it was actually the biggest joke in the whole world. But lo and behold, 3 or 4 hours after this tweet, we get MELANIA launching her own token. And that token is now trading at a market cap, a fully diluted market cap of $8 billion, but at a market cap of $1.2 billion, which means that whilst the markets have been closed, whilst on a weekend where the US markets are closed, where the fund managers are not trading, you had Trump launch his token, which went up to $70 billion, and MELANIA launch her token, which went up to about $10 billion or $13 billion, as you can see over here. Together, they sucked out the liquidity out of the market. And so what you had the altcoins being destroyed because there was no new liquidity coming into the market. I know it's absolutely unbelievable that it was in 48 hours, they launched a Trump token and a MELANIA token. And that sucked out all the liquidity. MELANIA token sucked out all the liquidity out of Bitcoin. I think people were shocked. Bitcoin was at 106,000. We then went all the way down to under 100,000, at which point there was, we think, a leak or something that the Bitcoin strategic reserve may actually be affected by an executive order, which would happen on day one of the president's presidency, which actually starts today. That is the events of the last weekend. Now, I know it's been the craziest weekend we've ever had in crypto. And I think we need to understand what's going on, and we need to understand the implications, because I think both longs and shorts are actually in trouble here. I think really both longs and shorts are actually in trouble here. So if you're not already subscribed, this is probably a good time to subscribe. I see we've got a lot of new subscribers in the last 24 hours. Join the family, 1.146 million subscribers. Really, probably the best community in the world. By the way, speaking about this community, we will be live streaming the inauguration on Crypto Live, which is the other channel. Josh, if we could put a link to Crypto Live below so people can see, we will be watching the charts and trading with our community. We will be trading the events with our community. All right, let's actually go into a little bit deeper into all these events. I think so. As I said to you guys on the weekend, I made a show and I said, look, Trump coin, yeah, I could live with Trump coin. Trump coin was probably amazing because it sent a signal out to the rest of the world that the US is going to become the crypto empire of the world, that the US is open for business, that anybody can launch a token in the US. So I thought, like, Trump, I don't like celeb tokens, but Trump was probably one of the bravest and most exciting token launchers of all times. I also said that I think Trump was the ultimate crypto adoption tool, right? Because he brought a whole lot of normies into crypto, and you can see it if you look at the Moonshot app. And for those of you who don't know what the Moonshot app is, it's an app where effectively you can buy coins, meme coins, using your credit card. That's like, it's a user onboarding app. You can see that over the weekend, 168,209 new retail users were onboarded because of Trump Coin. We see that the Moonshot app actually moved to global rank number 4 and global finance rank number 1. So definitely Trump was a tool for mass adoption. You can see that immediately Binance listed it, Coinbase listed it, Robinhood listed it. This was definitely a tool for mass adoption and mass interest in crypto. You can see that for the first time in a long time, how to buy crypto as a search term was used. You can see Coinbase. You can see that the searches for Coinbase, searches for buy Solana, searches for crypto app, searches for buy crypto all went up in the last 48 hours. So I really, really thought that this was a watershed moment for crypto. But then a few hours later, or a few days later, I got information about MELANIA coin. And as I said, I just thought it was so absurd to think that they were actually going to do this that I paid attention to it, but I didn't even stay up for the launch, to be honest. I didn't actually even stay up for the launch because I just thought, even if there is a play, you could buy MELANIA and short Trump. The thing is, I wouldn't short Trump token, and the reason why I wouldn't short Trump token is because if you get carried out on a Trump token short, you could blow up your entire account. So I didn't even stay up for MELANIA token, even though the source of this was actually quite a reliable source. Anyway, so we get MELANIA token. And MELANIA token comes in and starts sucking the liquidity out of the market again over the weekend. And she even sucked out a lot of the liquidity out of the Trump coin. You can see that the Trump coin, when MELANIA launched, went from 72 billion to 40 billion, whereas at the same time, the MELANIA token went up to like a $13 billion market cap, right? So you can see that MELANIA coin, I think Trump learned a very simple lesson. One that, I think most men who are married have learned before, and that is that wives are expensive. You saw this, MELANIA cost Trump $30 billion as she launched her own token. So I think he just learned the same lesson that a lot of us have actually already, or a lot of us that are married have already actually learned. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Initially, I thought like the Trump coin was cool, but when I saw the MELANIA coin, I was like, nah, I can't with the right mind support this token. I'm all for President Trump launching a token, but when MELANIA actually launches a token, then what I think it is I think that this becomes a little bit distasteful. Okay, maybe this is also a little bit distasteful. But what I kind of felt was that now they're taking advantage. Now MELANIA and Trump have realized that what they've done is that they found a way to extract money from the crypto community, and they're doing it. And when I say they find a way to extract money from the crypto community, what you realize when you look at the tokenomics of the Trump token, 80% of the Trump token is actually locked up in the in related party wallets. In other words, Trump advisors, I don't know who it is, but 80% of the token is actually locked up, and 10% is in liquidity, and 10% is in public distribution. And so that means that 80% of the market cap, the total market cap, which is currently sitting at $52 billion, is actually in Trump's hands. And I say Trump's hands because I use it quite loosely. I don't know whose hands it is, but Trump or Trump advisors' hands. And so what you can realize is that when they cash out that 80%, effectively what they're doing is they are cashing out at the expense of crypto. Crypto buyers will buy the token, and then the extraction of the money will actually be from the crypto community. And so I kind of saw this as almost like a mafia, so to speak, where they are extracting value from the crypto community by launching these two tokens. They are sucking the liquidity out of all the other tokens, and Trump and MELANIA are basically sucking the liquidity out of this. And so what I said was, look, like, it was okay with with the Trump coin, because that sent a good signal to the world. But after MELANIA, it's clear that they're now grifting at the expense of the entire crypto community, sucking liquidity out of the rest of the market. Don't get me wrong, as my timeline shows, I did know about MELANIA. So this is not like, oh, a boomer missed it. I knew about it. I just chose not to trade in it. And I do, right now, I've got Fred texting me, and I'll tell you what he says here. He said something here, which, as a friend, I'm going to say that this is probably not the best tweet to post on the day of the inauguration. But I have to be open and honest and transparent. That's my biggest weakness, is that I always tell you guys everything. But this is to me, this just feels like a cash grab. Now, it could be that they launched the MELANIA token before the inauguration, because as laid out in the Constitution, no president is allowed to abuse his office to enrich himself. Specifically, the Emoluments Clause prevents the president from receiving profits or gains from foreign governments. That's what makes these coins interesting. And so maybe they had to launch the Trump and the MELANIA token before the inauguration, because after the inauguration, it would have violated the US Constitution. But the truth is, regardless, I don't like the fact that MELANIA is sucking the liquidity. Where did your mind go when I said that? Because I just saw how your jaw dropped when I said MELANIA is sucking. So I don't like the fact that MELANIA is sucking liquidity out of the altcoins. I was okay with it when it was Trump, but you know what the problem is? The problem is that this is the Trump family tree. Okay, now I don't know about you, but I don't have enough liquidity to get through this entire family tree. Remember, Trump's had 3 wives now, right? So now, like you've got like Ivana Trump. Now she could launch a meme coin. Then Eric Trump could launch a meme coin. Then Ivanka Trump could launch a meme coin. Then there can be Donald Trump Jr., right? Then Barron Trump. Apparently Barron Trump. There are a couple of Barron Trump tokens that have been launched. This is. I don't have enough dry powder for all these launches, bro. I just don't have enough dry powder for Trump, MELANIA, Barron. And I do think that what we're actually going on a very, very, very serious note, what I actually think is going on here is that the Trump extended advisor, and I don't think it's the president himself, because I think the president himself is probably aware, but pretty oblivious to what's actually going on here. But I do think that these kids and the advisors and everybody else, now I'm not going to be invited to any Trump events. I was invited before. I'm not going to be invited now. You'll see how it works now. But what you'll see, what I think is going to happen now is that these guys are sucking the liquidity out of the crypto market, therefore doing damage to all the other altcoins that have actually been wrecked. And on top of that, if you look at where all the liquidity is going, it's going into a concentration of 2 bubbles. Here, 52 billion, and here, 10 billion. Of that, you can make an assumption that 80% is owned by Trump and related, which means that all the crypto liquidity is flowing from the good coins and the other coins into these 2 coins, and 80% of the ownership of these 2 coins is actually owned by the Trump advisors, so to speak. And that's why, to be honest, I was cool with Trump coin. I'm not that cool with MELANIA coin. I don't have any more dry powder for Barron, and I'm certainly not buying any more from Eric Trump. So I think that is why I'm very, very, very scared of these coins. I think they also create multiple points of failure for the cycle. You'll remember that last cycle, the cycle collapsed because of Luna. And when Luna collapsed, Luna had a market cap of $40 billion. And when the Luna token collapsed, it took down the entire market. In fact, let me just remind you, in Bitcoin, in fact, let's just, to make it more fun, let's look at Total 3. Okay. And if I go on to the weekly, I think the weekly is probably the best. If we go on to Total 3 and we look at like April, May of 2022, it's about, there it is, April. Look at what Luna did to the market when Luna collapsed. And this was a $40 billion token collapsing. Now, just imagine that now you get a $50 billion token collapsing in the Trump token, or you get MELANIA collapsing with a 13. That means that there's a $50 billion collapse. Add to that the fact that you got XRP trading at a $300 billion fully diluted valuation. And now I'm starting to look at this market structure and starting to say there are too many single points of failure in this market structure. And that for me is quite a scary, scary, scary sign. So what am I hoping for? Well, what I'm hoping for is that the liquidity will flow out of Trump and out of MELANIA back into the normal altcoins before something happens. If that happens, then we could be saved. If not, then I think that either these two are an extraction mechanism by the Trumps and advisors to get money out of the crypto community into their pockets, or you probably shouldn't talk like this about a president and his family before the inauguration. It's not the best strategy, eh? Okay, let's end the stream. I mean, it's not a good strategy, this. I didn't when I was writing the show, I didn't actually realize. I mean, he's gonna get into office. Elon's gonna be phoning, like shit's gonna happen here, bro. All right, anyway, let's carry on. So let's go on to happy things, happy thoughts, sunshine and rainbows, sunshine and unicorns. So today is the inauguration day. As Pomp says, he says today is day one for the new administration. The American people sent Donald Trump to the White House with a mandate to close the border, cut government spending, bring down inflation, make housing affordable, re-establish law and order, create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, refrain from entering into any wars, and ensure that the future is brighter for all the citizens. It's a big day today. We wait for America to inaugurate Trump, and then we're probably going to get one of the biggest and most exciting presidencies that the United States has ever had. A few moments ago, or a bit earlier today, we saw Bitcoin actually dipping to 100,000. And then we saw it jump up. And as I said to you before, the reason why it jumped up is because there is news that, or there are rumors that something is going to happen around the strategic reserve and that it's going to get expedited. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure what the mechanism is, but somehow something around the strategic reserve is going to be expedited. And you can see it here in terms of the funding rates. The second place that you can see it is if you look at the poly markets. This has been on a tear the whole day. So it started off the day at 40%. And this is the probabilities. Will Trump create a Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days? Today, we started off the day in the late 30s. We're already in 55%. There was also this that went out. We saw a picture of Cynthia Lummis, Senator Cynthia Lummis, who wrote the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, will be meeting with Donald Trump. And so a lot of people are starting to think that maybe something is going to happen today as it relates to the strategic reserve. What we need to be looking out for, we need to be looking out for the inauguration speech. We need to be looking out to see if there's any mention of Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, making America crypto capital of the world. If we get that, then I think the market cycle holds. If we don't get that, and if we don't get something about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, then there is a chance that we get a quick wick downwards. And so that's why today I'd be very, very, very careful if you're trading. If you've got leverage accounts, make sure that you can afford to hold your leverage both ways, up and down. Make sure that you don't get taken out when it comes to leverage, because today is one of those days where there's huge expectations in the market. The market is expecting something around a strategic reserve. You've had two coins come into the market. I just want to show you the effects of what these coins have done to the market. So yes, Bitcoin is trading at $107,000 or very, very, very close to all-time high. But I want to just show you something. Let's look at Popcat, a meme coin, which was trading at $2 not so long ago, trading at 43 cents. These two Trump tokens have sucked all the liquidity out the market. Now you really, really, really have thin liquidity left, like ridiculous thin liquidity in the market. And now you've got the inauguration speech. With the thin liquidity in the market, one word that Trump can say can wreck tokens. So what's the strategy? Number one, if you have leveraged accounts, make sure you've got enough money in there to handle the volatility so you don't get wrecked and you don't get liquidated. That's the first thing. The second thing is put in some cheeky, stinky bids and offers. Why? Because you may get hit on the bid side and you may get hit on the offer side. Make sure that you have stinky bids on both the downside and on the upside. You may pick up altcoins for a fraction of their price today, and you may be able to sell things into a crazy quick spike as this market does it. It's going to be one of the most volatile events that you're ever going to experience in crypto, or at least if it isn't, at least you must be prepared for that eventuality. Because the last thing that I want is people to be liquidated in this. Let's quickly look at the altcoins. So as I said, the altcoins, MELANIA and Trump sucking out all the liquidity out of a lot of the altcoins. Specifically, if you go here, you can see just how much of the liquidity currently sits in the Trump token. The altcoins are getting smashed, except for the ones that Trump's World Liberty Financial is actually buying. And if you can actually go to their website and you can see they've actually got track the latest token buys. They're pretty open about what they're actually buying, right? So they actually buy World Liberty Fi. They've been buying ETH. They've been buying Link. They've been buying Chainlink. They've been buying Aave. They've been buying a whole lot of other tokens. You can actually go and track it. This BWE News tracks it pretty well. Yeah, they do. Hold on a second. I see that there's stuff coming. Today we have to be one of the first executive orders Trump plans to sign today will be aimed at establishing the Department of Government Efficiency. So that's also quite big. Okay, so so the tokens that are actually flying are the ones that they're buying. So they bought Chainlink. Chainlink went to $26. They bought Aave. Let's quickly just look at where Aave is. Aave is trading at $351, also up a lot today. This was earlier on today. It was trading at $300. It's now 20% up on the day today. Crazy numbers. So that's what's holding the market. They've been buying ETH, and that's the reason why ETH is holding its own against Bitcoin. So it's not moving because ETH is actually a stable coin. It's a new stable coin. It's called Ethereum. Then you've got the rest of the market pretty hit. The sector that's been probably the worst hit is actually the AI agents. So if you look at the market cap of the AI agents, and you look at where the high was at about 19 billion or something like that. Let's just say $20 billion. That sector is now back at $19.56 billion. So I've put in some stinky bids in the AI agents, two in particular that I've put in. One of them was this yes, no error, which is an agent that effectively looks for mathematical errors and methodological errors in the methodology of scientific papers. And the other one is Daniel Sester's Anon. Hey Anon. So I've put some stinky bids here. Hopefully I'll get them. If I don't get them, well, this is what today is about. Today is about taking a chance. Take a chance, win a prize. That's basically how it is. If you don't speculate, you don't accumulate. The other one that is probably worth looking at is looking at the Solana ecosystem. I think we should spend a couple of minutes just talking about Solana. Solana has been put to the ultimate test, right? It had Trump launch and it had MELANIA launch in the space of 72 hours. Now, just to give you a perspective of how big these launches, and it did it very well. I mean, it landed up at almost $295, broke its previous all-time high. And actually, you can kind of say that now, like Sol is now going to retest its all-time high. Now, as I said, I did call this in front runners, but I didn't call it. I called this before this whole thing actually started, but not for the same reason. And so what we decided to do today is to give you guys an opportunity to get into front runners. Now, a lot of people have said to us, no, front runners is a calls group. It's not a calls group. It's a full group with 15 researchers, analysts, people dropping alpha about AI agents. We've got an AI agent channel. We've got a meme coin channel. We've got a economics channel, a macro channel. There's a lot going on. There's a psychology channel. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. It's not a calls group. It's anything but that. And you can see that we have big people who, Hasib was there last week. We've had Joe McCann there many times, where we get these guys to come and have Q&A sessions with the people in Frontrunners. If you want to join, we're doing a Trump inauguration on Frontrunners. And you have to use the word Trump. Promo code is Trump. You get 50% off the first month ahead of the inauguration. Try it. If it doesn't work for you, leave. You pay for 50% of the first month. I think it's probably the best opportunity you're going to get to join Frontrunners. And for the next 48 hours, the waiting list is going to be open. So you guys can actually get in. Anyway, let's go back to Solana. So the one thing we need to appreciate about Solana is that it's now it has been put to a test that no blockchain in blockchain history has actually been put to. The amount of transactions and the number of things that happened on Solana in the last 72 hours is unparalleled. In fact, it's 10% of the daily NASDAQ volume. Just think about that. 10% of the NASDAQ, daily NASDAQ volume. Now, the reason why that's so exciting is because Solana's ambition, or their North Star, is to become the decentralized NASDAQ. And so Solana's been put to the ultimate test. I would say the following. Number one, no other blockchain could have done what Solana actually did. And they did it. The first test, the Trump test, they did amazingly. The second test, I've been reading of some glitches. Like, I've been reading of glitches everywhere in the Solana ecosystem. But remember, these guys are, like, Phantom is getting a massive surge of 8,000 plus requests per minute. 8,000 requests per minute is what these guys are actually getting. So it's been a big test. The truth is, it's an amazing feat for Solana, even though it wasn't perfect and there were some problems with withdrawals and there were some problems with the chain. Remember that no chain has been tested to this magnitude. And so now the thing is, when a real project, when a mass market project wants to join and it's looking to do stuff like that, it's going to just think about this. Think about working for Nike, and think about, like, your job is on the line and you're going to go into a mass blockchain project. And the question is, which blockchain do you actually launch this project on? Now, remember, when you work for corporate, your main thing is don't get fired. Don't get fired. Don't get fired. So what do you do not to get fired? You go somewhere where it's safe, where you're not taking risks. Think about a BlackRock. If they're going to go launch something for the masses, right? They're going to go somewhere where there's least risk. And now what's happened to Solana is Solana has now proven what it can do, where every other blockchain can say, yes, we can do it. But the only one that actually has a proof of concept on a mass launch like this is actually Solana. And so I think this is actually the beginning of a new chapter on Solana. I mean, just the amount of transactions on Phantom is the same number as base Cs in a day. All other layer 2s on ETH together, C combined. And so that just gives you an idea for how battle tested the Solana network actually is. And I think it's going to start a new chapter of mass adoption in Solana. So that's why I'm fully bullish on Solana ecosystem, Radium, Camino, Jito, Cloud, Jupiter. I bought a lot of Cloud over the weekend just because I think it's very undervalued. All right, now, as if that wasn't enough, there's another risk that's happening on Friday this week. A big risk. And we'll spend a lot of time talking about it tomorrow, but I do think I should prepare you on Monday because this is going to be a very volatile week. And that risk is that the Japanese central bank is meeting on Friday. And on Friday this week, they are expected to raise interest rates again. Now, you may say, well, who cares? I want to remind you that the last time that the Japanese central bank raised interest rates, there was a lot of fear around the reversal of the cash and carry trade. Now, for those of you who don't know what the cash and carry trade is, I'll summarize it for you quickly in 1 minute. In Japan, you could have borrowed, as you can see here, with zero interest. Literally, you could borrow as much money as you wanted with zero interest. So the problem is that these guys in Japan people took out big loans in Japan to invest it in places like the States, right? So you invest it, you borrow in Japan at 0%, and you go and invest it in the US and you can earn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%. Problem is that when Japan actually increases its interest rates, then the money is no longer free. And therefore, a lot of what they call the cash and carry trade unwinds. The last time that they increased interest rates was this, where Bitcoin went down 30%. And the first time Bitcoin went down 17%. It's happening again on Friday. So on Friday, there's a 90% chance that there is going to be an interest rate hike on Friday, which means that there is a big chance that the market is going to worry about the cash and carry trade. So my feeling is that we need just be cognizant of it. Be cognizant that you may actually get amazing buying opportunities this week. And so have dry powder if as you know, I'm out of dry powder. Someone says all runs picks are dumping hard. The whole market's dumping hard except for the World Liberty Token and MELANIA and Trump. Everybody. But I'm not here for 1 week. I'm here for a long time. You know, as I say, when you go to Thailand, you're here for a good time or a long time. I'm here for a long time. I'm not here for a good time. Okay. So that's that. What else is there? All right. So look, we will be trading. We will be trading I was going to say the FOMC, but it's not the FOMC. We will be trading the inauguration on Crypto Live. There's a link to Crypto Live below. If you want to join us in the trading, number one, you can get a Bybit account. If you're in America, so if you're in America and you're in America and you want to trade, you can get a Bitcoin account because there's no KYC, and you can get 50% of your trading fees back in cash back. Yeah, sign up to any one of those accounts. I think, and then you can pretty much trade with us. Also, if you want to join us, now or very, very, very soon for Kyle's Whale School, there is a course starting in less than a week. It's a free school that you do with Kyle. Kyle's an amazing, amazing, amazing trader. If you've ever wanted a free trading course valued at $3,000, this is the course. Sign up here. There's a link below for you guys to sign up. Sign up, join us at the school. There's a mystery guest that's joining us at the school. I'm not allowed to say too much more. They won't allow me to say who it is. There's a mystery guest that's joining us at the school. It's going to be an amazing, amazing school. Anyway, I will see you guys again later on Crypto Live. For those of you who don't know, there is the link to Crypto Live. It's our other channel. It's quite a good looking channel. There it is. So we're going to be here on Crypto Live. We're going to be broadcasting the inauguration. We'll see you guys then. Until then, trade well, my friends.